By 16 months after the Artur Rubinstein Gala, with this wonderful dinner and bringing town and gown together and all that, the advisory committee was officially formed, and it was called the advisory committee. And there were reasons why it was called the advisory committee, because in a little note that Gail Rector wrote following the first year of the advisory committee's formation, we want to bring in people who are most interested in the community, in the arts, in the community, and who can offer perspective. And he actually used the word advice to the board of directors.
When I first joined advisory and I talked to people, they said, "Oh, this is the best organization ever." And then I joined and I found out that yes, it
John and I were in charge of the 1980 dinner.
But again, it's better to serve than to be served.
Lots of hours working with UMS, and I've just loved most of it. And I stayed with UMS. I've done 2 terms on advisory and then 2 terms on the board. We became more and more active in advisory now. It's just so exciting. I'm really proud of what everyone's been doing. We had decided to decorate the league, the ballroom, for the gala and cabaret ball with enormous big tubular balloons that were 100 feet long and chandeliers. You've no idea how much fun we had.
Also, you did 2 dinners in the Nichols Art.
Yeah, they were casual fun dinners like on the first. And that had never been done, and you had to deal with the pigeons first of all.
Yeah.
The first thing I ever did was to work on the first Bernstein reception. And I was, juggling little kids and everything.
The big way that advisory got involved was to be ushers and hosts for the youth concerts. I do remember piling into those carpools with several of you here.
I started because of the youth ushering. I thought that was the most fantastic. Ushering was just such a thrill to see those kids come in. So the first on the road, I think we really, it worked. It only took a year and a half to get it on the ground, but.
I was a young staff person, and Ken had a vision for how UMS could and really needed to embrace the corporate community of southeastern Michigan. There was no corporate program at that time. And the advisory committee hosted like a series of 5 nights of parties on stage in Hill Auditorium. They started every night, the advisory committee was there, popping champagne bottles. All of these corporate citizens, corporate leaders, CEOs, marketing directors, PR people would show up at the backstage of Hill Auditorium. We'd all go up to one of the old organ rooms. Everyone would drink champagne and then walk down and sit on stage in Hill Auditorium in the formation of an orchestra. Then, with these huge speakers, the 3rd movement of Brahms' Forward Start. And it would just scare all of these corporate citizens into attention, and then Ken would appear. And he would sell UMS and the importance of what UMS did and what it meant to southeastern Michigan to this orchestra of corporate leaders. And it was it really was the kernel of UMS's corporate program, which is, of course, robust to this day. in 60 families opened their home around Ann Arbor and hosted dinner parties that not only that needed to be coordinated, but then every one of these dinner parties was picked up by a bus and dropped off at Hill Auditorium for the concert, and then was picked up afterwards and brought back for dessert. I mean, it was quite a night.
And then, because I now knew more about the audience than anybody around, why I was invited onto advisory. But I was only on a short time before I left to go to Washington for 4 years. And when I came back, the things I did
was working on this book. And they needed it. My job was ruffle.
I had wonderful 6 years on advisory, worked on many programs that have already been mentioned, like On the Road and Delicious Dining. I worked on about 6 years. Co-chair the auction, and I remember thinking, what is this? I had no idea what a silent auction was, and I said, sure, why not?
I had, in my mind, always thought that I never wanted to get involved in a fundraiser. And Barbara made it sound so neat and so wonderful that there I was, I'll come to the planning meeting. And I came to the planning meeting, and there was Meg. And Meg says, we'll co-chair the whatever it was we were going to co-chair. And, okay, I can do this. Our guest of honor died on us. And we had all these wonderful things of colors and whole decor planned. And about a month, not even a month before, we had to change everything. And with Betty's great help, we did.
I came in the beginning of the second RSC residency, and we haven't mentioned Royal Shakespeare Company because that was the biggest thing that hit Ann Arbor with the history plays.
She said, would you like to chair the Education Ambassador program? And I said, sure, what is it? First time I went to talk with Omari about what is it, he showed me the brochure for the education program, the youth education program, and I tell you, I was absolutely blown away. The performances, the teacher workshops, the immersions, the teacher book club, all that stuff, and I thought, wow.
I came in right before the first On the Road, and I came in as a fairly new resident of Ann Arbor, and thinking I was just going to go to a June luncheon and then go on vacation for the summer, and little did I know.
She's part of this group, and I said, well, do you think the group will mind since I don't belong to the group? Do you think they'll let me do it? He said, I'm pretty sure they will let you do it.
Sure. And she was involved for 10 years and then some. And then you get more than you give. And I think that really sums up advisory so nicely.